you have an artist which refused to draw a homosexual scene and now find themselves in the middle of a culture war where half of the internet thinks that the appropriate punishment would be to ruin his livelihood, make sure that he is never able to post again, and if possible, harass his family. And the other side of the internet is actually defending him and is calling him a champion of freedom. I already covered this story in a previous video, but it seems that there are a couple of developments now which I want to address. But first and foremost, I would like to point out that, as usual, the issue is not the issue. I don't think that most people are butthurt because the man doesn't want to draw homosexuality. I think it's just an ideology realizing that it's losing grip on power and is desperately lashing out. What I mean by this is that for the last 5 years, the rainbow flag was the corporate flag. Like every single corporation had the rainbow flag. You had transgender titties in front of the White House. U.S. embassies had the rainbow flag. And people that didn't salute the flag, people that didn't show the correct amount of respecto, they would actually have their lives ruined. And this was because advertisers were afraid of backlashes. And the advertisers and the payment processors were the ones forwarding money for everything else. And so they didn't want to upset the far leftists on Twitter. However, this only works because of the implication. The implication is that if people on Twitter are upset, those people are actually representing society at large. And so if you upset them, you destroy your brand because no one wants to buy your product. The reality after the Bud Light protest is, however, that that is not the case. Twitter, with the Jack Dorsey era, managed to alienate many of the normies, and it created the illusion of a society that is extremely progressive. Catering to left-leaning people meant actually alienating the normies. If you virtue signal leftist talking points, people just stop buying your product. And as such, the Rainbow Brigade realizes that if it can't boycott successfully, if it can't get people to fear them, they're losing grips on ideology. And this is why they're really upset about the situation, because like if they can't even bully an artist into submission, what can they do? Like you gotta understand, from their point of view, 4 years ago, they could actually bully banks and they could bully large corporations into submitting to them. And now they realize that even a simple artist on the internet, a cheeky little shit, can't be bullied into submission, and this is unacceptable. So this is why you have like this large number of people that are offended and they pretend they don't understand what's going on. Because the reality is not complex at all. You should not be able to force someone to draw your fetishes. Like if an artist says that they don't want to draw gore, you're not supposed to force them. Like why would you want to get a person to sit 6 hours to draw something that they don't like? And just because they don't like to draw violence, that doesn't mean that they would want to cancel movies like A Nightmare on Elm Street, or movies like Friday the 13th, or that they have anything against people that consume media that has violence. It's simply a personal preference, and in a society where you demand respect, you should also give respect to people. Like if it's about, oh, you're just born that way, well, preferences, like stuff that you enjoy and stuff that you hate, are also irrational. Like for example, there's nothing that I can do in order to like the movie Twilight. I dislike it, and if I was forced to write fiction about Twilight, I would find it very uncomfortable. And I would have the exact same compassion for a homosexual person that would be forced to draw a vagina, or that would be forced to write heterosexual fiction if they don't want to. Because at the end of the day, like no matter how the far left have convinced themselves and they have self-radicalized to believe that if one artist doesn't want to draw homosexual pornography, that they're being bigoted and racist, most normies don't agree with that. I mean, seriously, like, take this talking point to some LGBT activists from the 90s and say we're being discriminated. And the activists would be like, really? What's going on? Well, we got this artist doesn't want to draw gay porn. Like, the LGBT activists from the 90s would be like, what? I mean, can't you find an LGBT artist to draw that? Like, why are you asking a straight guy? Yeah, but he invoked religion. Okay, and like, I get that you don't like religion, because at the end of the day, this is where the upset comes from, right? Like, they don't like religion, which is like, okay, you know, but like, religious people don't like your ideology either. And there's a lot of religious people, and there's a lot of people with your ideology. Like, you do need to find a way to work it out without having to resort to this level of violence where you're thinking that, oh, if we just ruin his livelihood, if we just unperson him, it's okay because no one raised a hand against him. Like, no, what you're doing is you're going to create a backlash from the other side, thinking that it's appropriate to do these things to you. And so now they went crying to Vigen, right? Like, exactly what I've been saying. They wanted to destroy his livelihood. So they did this power mapping, as they call it, went to the place where the artist gets his money from, the platform that he uploads, Vigen. And Vigen says that, to clarify, we do not tolerate discrimination of any kind. That said, we are a global community and our users come from many religions, each with its own laws, customs, and cultural religious frameworks. And in certain area, creating specific types of content can unfortunately carry serious legal risks for the artist. And in the case being referenced, the artist declined the request politely and respectfully, explaining that doing so would go against their religious beliefs. There was no hateful or derogatory language used. If there had been, the situation would be viewed and handled very differently. Our team takes these reports very seriously, and ultimately we cannot compel artists to create work they are not comfortable with, whether for personal, religious, or legal reasons, as long as the refusal is communicated respectfully. So, I don't think like any normal or sane person has an issue with this. I also do understand if I go to a gay artist and I try to commission one of my succubuses, and he says, no, I don't draw that. Like, I mean, I don't feel discriminated, right? Or if someone says, due to religious reasons, I don't want to draw demons. Like, how is that a problem? And again, if you're looking at it as the issue is the issue, it doesn't make sense. But if you look at it from the point, it's like, okay, well, these people, maybe they want to show that they can still cancel someone. They can still boycott, and though they still have power, then it makes sense. But it's interestingly that they can't do even that, right? Like, the companies just stop listening to them. And you can see how many are upset here. Block me before I slur you. Gladly. Thank you for the heads up. I'm not homophobic. I just have a specific beliefs that make me feel uncomfortable depicting gay people. The word homophobia has lost all meaning to y'all. Next time I feel icky when walking next to a black man, I'm going to tell myself, thank God I'm not racist. Lots of tension just below the surface on these comments. You people, those people, them. Ouch, what makes you think LGBT wouldn't side with artists who live in oppressive countries? The one post, that person was overreacting a lot, obviously. Vigen is right. Well, I do get where you're coming from, you know, like saying you people, those people, them. But look, put yourself into the shoes of someone that's not in your community. And he goes on the internet and he sees an artist that just says, yeah, I don't want to draw homosexual porn. And here is where most people are going to say, well, that's reasonable. I mean, just find another artist. But then they notice that there's various individuals with flags and paraphernalia in their bio trying to contact Vigen support, trying to see if homophobia is legal in that person's country, trying to get them arrested, throwing slurs and insults. And the normal person is going to be, well, hold on a little bit. None of my friends act this way. I don't act this way. This is absolutely ridiculous. Who are these people? And that's when you create the they. That's when you create the other. Because in the mind of the person from the outside, there is the us, you know, the people that act like him, which can understand no. And then there is the other that acts uncivilized. They act unruly. They act ridiculous and disproportional. Right? Like, if a person just once refuses a commission, and your answer is to get your friends on Discord and try to do life ruination, that's beyond disproportional, unfair, and unjust. Right? Like, the level of butthurt that the artist caused to the person that they said no to pales in comparison with the level of damage that they're trying to inflict to this artist. And so this is why you get the stigma. And obviously, there are LGBT people. I know a couple that agree with the artist. And they're not part of the mob. But what can you do, Like, gatekeep your community better, I suppose. Like, human nature doesn't act on research and statistics. Like, human nature is also emotional. And what they see is an artist getting bullied by a group of people with various flags in their bio. And they don't see, like, other people with flags trying to stop it. And so that's the opinion that they're going to make, that flag people are bad. At least on the internet. Yeah, all in all, as I mentioned before, I already covered this once, but it did escalate to the point where Vigen support had to answer, which tells me that this is lasting a lot more than what controversies usually last on the internet. And on top of that, they're definitely trying to ruin this person's life. And they're basically going after their income now, and as I mentioned before, I saw people trying to figure out if it's legal in their country to do what they do, and they're combing their social media, trying to find any other picture, any other example of something that they may have drawn that's illegal in their country to get them in trouble with the law. It's not like these are vigilantes that are trying to make sure that criminals are prosecuted. No, it's the fact that they want to send a message. And the message is, do not disrespect our commissions. Like, if we ask for something, you have to draw it, whether you like it or not. Deal with it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.